Good morning and welcome to Unity on the River. We're celebrating Palm Sunday today, and we're opening our song with a solo with Will Lojek, and this is Prepare Ye the Way.
Prepare ye the way of the Lord. Prepare ye the way of the Lord.
Let us pray. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place because you are here in your exuberance, in your joy, in your celebration, with your hearts open, smiles on faces. You are indeed the face of the divine. You are indeed the voice of the divine. You are God made visible. And today as we come together to celebrate that, we do that heart to heart, soul to soul, lifting each other up, raising our consciousness, raising the highest and the best of who we are for each other. This is the day that God has made, and we will rejoice in it together, loudly. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. You may be seated. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our Palm Sunday celebration. I'm Reverend Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here. Good to see you all. Glad you're here. We're going to have some fun today. Not that we don't have fun every Sunday, but we might dial it up a notch because you've got things to wave. As long as you've got things to wave, it's going to be more fun. That's just a default that it is. And here in Unity, as I always love to say, if we want to see the face of God, we simply look to another because they are the embodiment of the divine as well. So turn to someone and say, God looks good today. And speaking of having a good time and celebrating, I do want to acknowledge yesterday was the birthday of someone who ultimately is a person who really makes this whole place run. Our office manager and communications director, Cindy Perdigao. Happy birthday, Cindy! She really quickly realized when she started working here that she is my brain, and that if I am to remember anything or any place to show up, she has to tell me. And she's okay with that, and I'm okay with that too. So thank you, as always. And I am thrilled to facilitate today's service with my friend, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle, for being here today.
Thank you, Reverend Ogun. Good morning, everyone. Happy Palm Sunday. It's great to see some snowbirds back today. It's awesome, and we hope that it's like you're the right time on this. You know, things should be popping. If you take a look out at the trees, there's buds coming out. There are spring signs around for us if we look. So I'd like to welcome you all, and let's say hello to our streamers out there in streaming land. People stream from all around the world, so we're really grateful to have that as part of our service. And I'd also like to welcome anyone who is visiting with us for the first time. If you'd be comfortable to please raise your hand. We're not going to ask you to say anything or anything like that. We'd just like to give you a flower, and if you could keep it raised, that would be great. Welcome. We're delighted that you're here today. You truly enrich our service. We welcome all paths to God. And if they are giving you a flower and a welcome packet, you can fill out the blue card on the front if you'd like to be added to our mailing list or to receive other information. And the flower gives you 10% off in the bookstore. And there's some pretty cool stuff out there. So welcome again. We're glad to have you here. And we'll start the service by focusing on our core values. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. And together, let's say our mission statement. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And our vision, centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. Yes, we do. Now, we have a few announcements here that help us fulfill that mission and vision. Today, Christina Mariah Lucia, you can stand here. She is hosting a workshop in the Oneness Room on the power of sound. If you've never had a sound healing experience or anything like that. It's very powerful, and it will leave you feeling calm and energized. And that is at noon. She uses tuning forks as this healing process, and the cost for that is $20, and that's in the Oneness Room at noon. Then also at noon, speaking of live streaming, we have a meeting for those who are interested in joining the live streaming team, and that will be in the wing room. You don't have to have all kinds of technical experience. You'll be trained, and you really give a tremendous service to not just this community, but to all of those who are watching, maybe homesick or from other parts of the country. So we appreciate that. If you're interested, that's at noon in the wing room. And the artist of the month is Lisa Pelosi. Where'd she go? Oh, she was over there before. Beautiful, beautiful photos hanging in hospitality, so check those out. And on May 7th from 11:30 to noon, Christina Mariah Lucia, again, is organizing an artist sidewalk sale for all the artists who have shown in the gallery, and we're having a sale as an opportunity for them to be able to sell some of their beautiful pieces. Now, because this is Palm Sunday, you know that this is also Holy Week. So we have a lot going on here, and I hope you can all join for part of it, or all of it. The sanctuary will be turned into a Garden of Gethsemane, and it will be open on Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. to just drop in, to pray, to contemplate, light a candle, to meditate, or other contemplative activities that will be set up. And then on Thursday, we are having a communion service, and that's at 7. And then on Good Friday, the 14th, there is a service with an original production by Maura Lynch and Torch. So that will be awesome too. So please come and get ready for Easter by joining in our festivities. Ogun is beginning to teach a class on Unity Basics on April 30th and May 7th at noon. This is a class that is required for membership, so if you're considering that, you'd want to take that class. And it's also just a great place to find out a little bit more about what we're all about, or for those of you who've been around for a while, to maybe get a little refresher. And now the time in our service where we greet each other with Namaste, with either a handshake or a hug. And I invite you to say, I see you. I see your beauty. I see your magnificence. I see the divine in you. Namaste.
Lucian. I welcome back Meg Rain and Lucian Parkin. He's going to join in on In the Spirit of Peace.
Yeah. We got a harpist in the house. Not the angelic kind, the other kind. Maybe he is a little angelic. In the spirit of peace, well, I'll stand like a willow, flowing and free, so grateful to be in the spirit of grace. I'll sing like a nightingale, see God in every face. God's grace in the spirit of peace. Always open to the miracle, the miracle, the miracle that I am today. Open to the miracle, the miracle, the miracle that births a new way. Ooh, in the spirit of peace. Well, I'll pray like a mountain, all my smallness released, so majestic and free, in the spirit of grace. Well, I'll dance like a sparkling stream and see God in every face. God's grace in the spirit of peace. And I am open to the miracle, the miracle, the miracle that I am today. Open to the miracle, the miracle, the miracle that births a new way. Yeah. Always open to the miracle, the miracle, the miracle that I am today. Open to the miracle, the miracle, the miracle that births a new way. Ooh, in the spirit of peace. Peace, grace, and ease. In the spirit of peace.
Meg Ray and Lucian Parker. Awesome.
That was awesome. I'm not a big fan of country music, but that was just country enough for me. Thank you. And there we go. While I have your undivided attention, I would like to remind you that next Sunday, Easter Sunday, we're going to have 2 services, 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., not our usual 10. If you show up for 10 o'clock service, you're either really late or really early, take your choice, but nothing will be happening at 10. Just want to remind you, 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. If you really want a good time, stay for both. Why not? Why not? But yes, today is Palm Sunday. Today is the day that traditionally begins in the Christian story Holy Week, a week full of events that really see the death and crucifixion of Jesus and the resurrection on Sunday again. And as I have been reminding you as we've been going through some Bible stories for the last few weeks, and you'll hear me say it over and over and over again, but I'll keep saying it because there might be someone hearing it for the first time. Here in Unity, our relationship with the Bible is not one of literalism. We don't look at the stories and wonder if they truly happened. Did it literally happen that way, or didn't it? We don't struggle with that. I mean, if you want to, you can. Suffering is optional. If you want to struggle, go right ahead. But our relationship with the Bible is a metaphysical one. Each story, each place in the Bible, each character in the story, each event that happens is part of the story of our spiritual evolution. It represents part of who we are and part of our evolving story. So we don't have to get caught up in the literalism of things. And I know for many of us, this may have been what turned us away from church in the first place. I'm speaking for myself. I know that for me, when I grew up in a very traditional Christian experience and believed the Bible literally, and then, as I like to say sometimes, facts happened. And I learned facts, and then I was like, conflict and inner turmoil, and remember that optional suffering I talked about earlier? Yeah, I went deep in that, and it made me run away from church for a while. But the truth is that there's no running away from God, because God is the essence of who we are. There's no running away. What there is a redefining of our understanding and our relationship of God, and understanding, as we believe here in Unity, that God is the very essence of who we are. So I can't run from God, because wherever I go, there I am. So, right? And I think every one of you feels that. That's why you're here. That's why you watch online. That's why you still have that connection, that tug, that feel. Today's Palm Sunday story is really a good illustration of that. Let me just jump in and read some of it here. So, when we last left Jesus, he'd risen, he resurrected Lazarus from the dead, and there was a plot to kill him because he was just amassing all these followers, and this was a few days before they would enter Jerusalem for the Passover celebration. If you're not too familiar with the Passover celebration, this is a Jewish observance that still happens today, that honors the exodus of the Jewish people from Egypt when they were captive there and prisoners, and the plagues came down upon Egypt to encourage Pharaoh to release the children of Israel. And the final plague was perhaps the most devastating. The angel of death came to kill all the firstborn in the area. And in order to prevent the firstborn of the Israelites being killed, they took the blood of the lamb and they painted it over the lintel of the door. And the angel of death passed over that home, hence the Passover celebration. It was that final straw that said to Pharaoh, okay, give up. I surrender. Take your people and go. So it's an honor, and it's a deep heritage that's celebrated in that Passover supper. And Jesus and his disciples and thousands of other people were going to Jerusalem, the headquarters, Mecca, if you will, of Judaism to celebrate Passover. Remember, Jesus was not a Christian. This might be news for some of you, but I'm just letting you know. He was not. He was a good Jewish boy, and he honored the Jewish customs. He followed the Torah. So they were going to celebrate Passover later this week when we do our communion service, which when Christianity was coming into being, and it borrowed that specific Passover supper that Jesus shared with his disciples and turned it into the Last Supper. And this ritual now that Christianity has observes, it's really just Passover that Jesus and his disciples were observing. So, but let's back up. Let me not get ahead of myself. So Monday, we call it Palm Sunday, but this really, I think, happened on Monday. They were approaching Jerusalem at Bethphage and Bethany, near the Mount of Olives, and I'm reading from Mark chapter 11. And he sent two of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the village ahead of you, and immediately as you enter it, you will find there a colt that has never been ridden. Untie it and bring it. If anyone says to you, 'Why are you doing this?' just say, 'The Lord needs it, and we'll send it back here immediately.'" They went away and found a colt tied near a door outside the street. Then they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their cloaks on it, and he sat on it. Many people spread their cloaks on the road, and others spread leafy branches that they had cut in the fields. And those who went ahead and those who followed were shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the coming kingdom of our ancestor David. Hosanna in the highest heaven." What we find is Jesus entering Jerusalem at the height of his popularity. He was well known. Stories of his miracles have spread far and wide. His teachings were embraced by so many other people, and they truly were beginning to believe that he was this Messiah that they were waiting on, the Messiah that would liberate them from the Roman oppression, liberate them from whatever they were being held in captive to. And they were celebrating. They knew he was coming. I'm sure Jesus, being the good PR man that he was, sent the advance team of the disciples. Notice he only sent 2 for the donkey. What were the other 10 doing? I don't know. I am guessing, saying to people, Jesus is coming, let's go welcome him. Let's get a parade. I like to read between the lines and make stuff up in case you didn't notice that. So again, these are individuals who are not wealthy. So they would have done what they could. They cut branches and waved. They spread their cloaks on the ground and as to put a carpet down before a king. And they welcomed him, saying, "Hosanna. Blessed be he who comes in the name of the Lord, who's going to restore us to the heyday of Judaism with King David." They were excited. They were happy. There were also a bunch of them who were probably confused about what was going on because, again, here are thousands of people who are coming from far and wide to celebrate Passover who may have never heard of this character, Jesus. But there they were. Interesting thing about that day, something that is not mentioned in the Bible, but something biblical scholars and historians are pretty certain was also happening. On the other side of town, there was another parade going on. There was another person coming in. A person who wanted to demand attention and respect and fear. It was Pontius Pilate. He was the governor of that area at the time, a man known for his brutality. And despite the fact that later on, when we read about Jesus appearing before Pilate in the trial, and Pilate seems to be like, I don't know about this guy. You guys want to crucify him, but I don't see anything wrong with him. I'm just going to let you all deal with it and back out slowly out of the room. That's the image that's painted here, but history proves different. Remember, he talked about the facts sometimes that didn't line up with here. Pontius Pilate was known for his brutality. He thought nothing of sending hundreds of people to be crucified. In fact, later on, so if you're the occupying force, you're going to show up in force. with banners, with the imperial eagle on the top. There was probably a massive drum corps. Maybe sounded something like this. Just coming in marching. Imagine it. These drums that you probably heard from miles away, instilling that sense of dread because your occupiers are coming in. Their armor is glinting all over the place, swords, spears. It was a different sort of entry into Jerusalem, one that was designed to show power and force and instill, again, fear. Thank you. So the true question is, if you were there at that time, which parade would you have been at? Which parade would you have been at? So let's take this back again, as I say, metaphysically. Metaphysically, what does this say about our own internal spiritual journey? Let's start with the place, Jerusalem. Metaphysically, well, the name literally means habitation of peace, a place of peace. This is what Jerusalem, the word, means. Metaphysically within us, it is a spiritual center of our consciousness. It is a habitation intended for peace. But we have a choice, don't we? We have a choice as to what we're going to let come in to be the source of our consciousness. We could choose Pilate. Pilate represents the human consciousness, the five-sensory experience. And when I say five-sensory experience, I mean we take in the world, the outside of us, through our sight, smell, taste, touch, the five senses. And we use that information, and we use it and we synthesize it with our memories, our experience, or how we have learned to be with the world. We put it in that context. So when things happen outside of us and we put it into the context of who we are and who we've learned to be in the world as human beings, then we decide what we're going to do from there. And often, what happens is the human part of us will tend to come sometimes from a place of wanting to be safe, which is okay. But in that sense of wanting to come from a place of being safe, it quickly turns over into living from fear. We become afraid of what's out there and what it might mean for us. You know what I like to say? We are meaning-making machines. So when stuff happens out there, we go, oh, it must mean this, based on my past experience, based on the experience of others, and we make choices from that place. That's what Pontius Pilate represents. Often we want to force our will to make something different happen. Often we want to control things. And we want to control because, why? If we can control it, we'll be safe. I don't know about you guys, but in case you haven't figured out yet, we control nothing. Like zero. Honestly, we can't even control our own thoughts half the time. Have you ever sat to meditate and all of a sudden you go, how did I get there with that? The thoughts just spiral out of control. By the way, some of us might think, oh, that means I'm not good at meditation. No, that's all right. Okay? We are under this delusion that the point of meditation is to stop our brain from thinking, right? Some people tell us that. Okay, we can't stop our brain from thinking. That was what the brain was made to do. Just like our heart was made to beat all the time, our brain was made to think all the time. If our brain stopped working, you would die. Just like if your heart stopped beating, then your lungs stopped breathing. The brain was made to think, this is a good thing. Don't try to stop it. Okay? Don't try to stop it. The point of meditation It's to allow the brain to do what it does somewhere so far in the background that it doesn't take your attention away from your breath, from the silence. Okay? So the point of meditation is when you feel yourself going down the rabbit hole of the thoughts, simply say, oh, look, I had a thought, and I followed it. I will stop following it now and come on back. Rinse and repeat. Do that over and over again. One of my Buddhist friends, Andrew Weiss, who came here last year or year before, he said, when, not if, when you are distracted in meditation, simply notice, thank the brain for doing what it does, and return to the breath. And then when you're done meditating, simply get up without judgment of what just happened and say, that was my time. Then the next day you come back. And when, not if, when you were distracted, simply notice you've had a thought. Thank your brain for doing what it was. Breathe, return to center as many times as you need to. When you're done, without judgment, you rise and you say, that was my time. When you come back the next day, when, not if, when, you get where I'm going with this. This is the practice. This is the practice. So again, we may notice ourselves at what I like to call the pilot parade. We're at the pilot parade, where we are allowing, or fairly legitimate, I would say, because I don't want to dishonor the fact that our human self actually ultimately wants what it thinks is best for us. It wants us to survive and stay alive. That's not a bad thing, right? I like being alive. How about y'all? Some of you aren't sure. Is this a trick question? Should we like being alive? Yes, you should. Being alive is a good thing. The problem is we sometimes give things far more power and danger than we think that they actually are. So we could be at the pilot parade, or we could be at the prophet parade, called Jesus the Prophet. I like alliteration. So we could be at the pilot parade, or we could be at the prophet parade. Prophet, not money, prophet. Jesus was a prophet. A prophet is one who in the Bible was not a fortune teller or a future caster who saw the future. The prophet was one who spoke on behalf of God. One who spoke on behalf of God. So if you're at the prophet parade, it's when you are checking in with your divine essence. That's what Jesus represents in all these Bible stories. The I am, the divine essence, the Christ nature, we call it in unity. And that's the voice of God in you, as you, through you. That's what that is. So if you show up to that parade, it's a little different. It's a little more spontaneous. It's a little more authentic. It's a little more of honoring the truth of who you are, not worried about what might happen later. Not worrying about what might happen later. Because let's go back to the story. These people who gathered to sing Hosanna, to sing praises and wave palms, and have this massive celebration, they knew they were putting themselves in danger. Why? Because the Roman authorities didn't like to see massive crowds gather. It might be a rebellion, and they'll have to shut it down. So they knew they were potentially putting themselves in danger, but they didn't worry about what might be. They did not worry. You know what worry is, by the way? We have a couple of divine faculties within us. We call them the 12 powers. One of them is imagination. Worry is the misuse of our power of imagination. Because what do we do when we worry? We imagine the worst of what could happen. That's what we do. We worry. We misuse our imagination. How about we not do that anymore? And use our imagination to see the highest and best outcomes. And it's not a magic spell that by seeing them we make them happen. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that when we use our imagination to see the highest and the best outcome, what we're doing is we've showed up at the prophet parade. And we're saying, Hosanna. We are given praise. We are basically centering our consciousness, our thoughts on the essence of who we are. Hosanna, the original Greek phrase actually means deliverance, help us. It's a cry for help, a cry to be saved. Okay? Here in Unity, metaphysically, when we talk about being saved, we're not talking about the traditional sense of accepting Jesus as our Lord and Savior. Not literally, but what we're talking about is accepting that we are the divine embodiment. We're the physical embodiment of God. And the only thing we need to be saved from is ourselves. The only thing we need to be saved from is worry, the misuse of imagination. The only thing we need to be saved from is fear of what might be. The thing we need to be saved from is living any thought that would tell us we are not divine. And when we speak of salvation, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about changing those thoughts into the truth of who we are. Hey, the fullness of God is fully present at the point of me. I don't need to live in a place of worry. I don't need to live in a place of being afraid of what might happen to me or others that I love. I don't need to live in that place, because here's the truth. What's going to happen is what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen is what's going to happen. The only choice we have is how we are going to respond to it, how we are going to live in the consciousness of who we are. Are we going to live at the Pilate parade level of consciousness or the prophet parade level of consciousness? Are we going to live from a place of struggling to exert our will and try to control things like Pilate did? Or are we going to live from a place of that true surrender? Surrender into the divine of who we are, which ultimately is true power. True power. Because when you think about it, here we are, how many thousands of years later, and we're still talking about this man and his teachings. And his teachings have spawned one of the largest religions in our world today. We're not really celebrating Roman emperors anymore. We're not celebrating Roman gods anymore. Where was the true power? The true power lay in the divine of who we are. So that's the question you have to ask yourself. Which parade am I going to show up for? If I want to be centered in a consciousness of peace, if I want to live my Jerusalem, which parade am I going to show up for? If you've ever been in my office, I got a few pictures on my wall. One of them is one of these series that represents the 12 powers I talked about. I have a picture of the TARDIS. You all know what the TARDIS is? Anybody? No? All right, from Doctor Who. Come on, where are my geeks at? There we go. Don't be ashamed of your geekness. Come on. Don't be ashamed. Raise that hand. I know what the TARDIS is. It's okay, thank you. Got a picture of the TARDIS in there too.
And relative dimension in space.
Thank you. There you go. Say it loud and proud. And I also, well, among other things, there's a verse, there's a Bible verse that's really nicely written out and drawn out. And it comes from Joshua 24, verse 15. And it says, "Choose this day who you will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." Choose this day who you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. There's a reason I have that up on the wall, because it is a reminder for me that every day, every hour, every moment, I am at choice point. And I gotta choose. I gotta choose where my attention is gonna go. I gotta choose where my thoughts are gonna go. Even deeper, I gotta choose what I really believe. Even more, I gotta choose how am I gonna live. Am I going to live from my consciousness of Pontius Pilate, fear, aggression, authority? Or am I going to live from that consciousness of the I am? Surrender, love, faith, Choose this day who you will serve. Choose which parade you're going to be at. But as for me and my house, we will serve God. Let's take this in a meditation. So I invite you to, if you're comfortable, closing your eyes, letting both feet plant firmly on the floor, hands resting in your lap. And just breathe how you normally breathe. No faster, no slower. Just breathe. Allow your thoughts to follow the breath. Let your attention flow in and out with the breath. And when, not if, but when, you realize you've been distracted from focusing on your breath, without judgment, simply notice it and return the attention to the breath. Let's just breathe for a few moments. Allow the breath to take you deeper into the stillness of your heart. Allow yourself to feel the presence within. Choose this day who you will serve. Where will your attention be? What will your beliefs be grounded in? As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Say yes to all that the divine within will inspire you to be. Do so that knowing that the Christ within is your source of all the strength that you need, the power that you need, the faith that you need, the love that you need, the wisdom that you need. It is all there. And it is all you need turn to and live from. to be at peace in this world, to be at peace every day, to be at peace in every moment. Choose to stay. Choose to stay. I invite you to choose God. Let's rest in this for a few moments in the silence. I choose God. And for all the names in this prayer box, for all the concerns, we hold that they too will remember to choose the God of who they are, the presence within, to be their source, to be their inspiration, to be their salvation, that which inspires them out of the struggle. And should you hold that intention for anyone in your lives right now, I invite you to say their names out loud. And in so doing, we see them and their situations not from that place of fear and worry, but from a true place of surrender into love, surrender into the highest and best. Choose this day who you will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Namaste. No, they can just go straight into this.
Atgure yugat gure name sat gure name siri guru dev name
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Maura and the choir. I'd like to introduce our prayer chaplains that are serving today. If you could please stand. The chaplains are available for you after service to pray with you in full confidence about anything you have as a concern for yourself, for others, and also if you just want to come and pray about gratitude. So we thank them for their service today. And also we have home and hospital visits available. Is anyone here from that team? And these wonderful souls are available to come to anyone who is homebound or in the hospital to come and pray with them. So we thank them for their service too. And now we bless our tithes and offerings. We can hold our tithes and offerings in our hands and breathe our energy into our gifts. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And now we have our offering. So,
Actually, a few more reminders for you. Don Miguel Ruiz and Junior and Don Jose are coming here on June 17th. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, today would be an awesome day to do that, to make sure that you have a spot, because there's only so many seats in here. And we have started advertising this out to the wider community, and our online sales are picking up, so we want to make sure that you guys remember to get your tickets in the bookstore today. Also, in your bulletin, you should have a little slip of paper that says Ask the Board. Do you see it? Is it there? I see a few heads nodding. I'll take that as a yes. So how I sometimes have an Ask the Minister service where you can write in questions and I'll answer them. The board has thought it would be great to hear from you if you have any specific questions about Unity on the River. On June 4th, we'll be having a community meeting, which is open to everyone. So if you have questions you would like the board to answer about anything to do with Unity on the River, please write the question on that slip of paper, turn it in as soon as possible over the next few weeks so that we on the board can take a look at them and get some answers back to you at the community meeting. Also, as I mentioned last week, our wonderful hospitality coordinator, Michael, is relocating himself down to Maryland, is it? Yeah? In a few weeks, so we do have an opening. If there's anyone who would like to consider being our hospitality coordinator, please speak to either Peter, our operations director, or even Cindy, and let them know that you're interested. And a little birdie whispered to me that today happens to be Michael's birthday. So happy birthday. There's cake. You should have led with that. Also, you heard the notice earlier about the live stream meeting. I really want to encourage, if you have just the slightest of curiosity, come to this meeting. I can't tell you how much, given the folks we have who currently serve on live stream and how we've changed our live stream service, we have so many people viewing our services. I get messages from people throughout the week, people who don't go to Unity Church, who don't go to church at all, who may have Unity churches in their towns, and they're like, we like y'all's service much better. We watch you on Sunday morning. We like Reverend Ogun's message. We like the energy of the music here. We're watching every Sunday, and when we can't watch, we watch it during the week. And they say, well, why can't you live stream more of the things you do? I said, that's my plan, but it's going to take people. It's going to take you, the community. And sometimes you wonder, how will I get the word out about unity? Like, this is such an awesome place. More people need to know about it. This is one way. This is one way you can do it. Because when I talk to people who are here for the first time as they go through the line, I always take a moment to ask them, how have you heard about us? And some people say, yeah, so-and-so brought me, or friends with so-and-so. But more and more people are saying, I Googled you. I Googled, church, unity, spirituality, and I found you came up. And I watched a couple of your services online. And I thought, yeah, that's the energy I want to be in. So this is a great way to get more eyes on us and more people in here as well. So I want you to really think about, let me lend some time to this. And you're not missing service, you're back there when you do this. And you've technically seen it twice while it's happening and on the screen. So, there's that. And finally, what time's church next week? 9 and 11. So please come to one of those Easter services. Come enjoy the Garden of Gethsemane during the week. Those of you who remember it from last year, it was a beautiful thing. And Lisa and also the prayer chaplain team are recreating that as well. Come to our communion service. Come to our Good Friday service. Really use this week to anchor yourselves. Anchor yourselves in this message and in this story. Let's give gratitude for our offering. So if you take a moment and close your eyes and drop into your hearts and find that place of gratitude, that feeling and energy of thanksgiving for these gifts, those that were received here, those of our online viewers who give on the site, those of us in the Absolute Abundance class who tithe together in class, all the ways that you give, we are grateful. And we're grateful that we also have the opportunity as a spiritual community to give, because we tithe back on these gifts, back into this local community, back into the unity movement. This is abundance, to be in the flow of the limitless universe. And we are grateful, and so it is. Amen.
Participation. Let's affirm it. I am the one I am waiting for. Yes, I am. I hope. I am the one I am waiting for. Yes, I am. I hope. I am the one. I am the son and the daughter of the Queen's kingdom. I am the one. I am the hope I am the one. I am the son and the daughter of the Queen's kingdom. I am the one. I am the daughter and the son of the King's kingdom. I hope,
Affirm it.
I hope, I hope, I hope.
Ladies and gentlemen, Meg Ray and the Unity Choir. Keith Bickford guitar, Steve Chigueras on the drums, and Andy Dow on the bass. All right.
Awesome, awesome music. You can all have a seat. Yeah. We have some thank yous first before our children come in. I want to thank everyone who gave of their time today to make this service possible, from our choir to hospitality to our youth and family ministry. And specifically for this week, Jim, John, Bob, Lynn, Therese, and Lynette. And our teams that we're recognizing this week are the PowerPoint team, thank you, the folding team who helps create our bulletins every week, and our bookstore volunteers, especially Jackie McCarthy, who has taken over as the bookstore coordinator. Doing a great job out there. Also want to thank our board members. If you're present, if you could stand, any of our active board members. Acknowledge all the work they do. Also, especially, we want to thank the people who help make Wednesday night services happen. So there's no regular Wednesday night service this week. Just come and enjoy the garden, and it will be open for you. And the other services on Thursday and Friday. And now here's Meg Rain again with another celebration song. Is that right? No, we just did that. This is opposite. Okay, never mind. Okay, so we love that last song. So now let's welcome in our youth and family.
We are walking at the light of love.
Good morning. We stand in the presence. We stay. So today we again focused on the 12 powers, and the theme today for us was really that you have everything that you need to be happy. And the 12, yeah. Yeah, I did a poor rendition of one verse. But the theme was really that the 12 powers is just an example of how you have everything that you need to be happy. And besides that, we did some wonderful crafts and came in and sang for you. Thank you.
Thank you. And you may have noticed it's especially a little more green and floral up here today. I want to thank the altar team and especially Diane and all her folks who did that.
And Diane Gage created
Yeah,
these. Are
Diane.
gorgeous.
And all the folks on the altar team. So, again, hope to see more, all of you here at some point during this week to get in that contemplative space of the garden, in our communion service, wave more palms, do it all. I invite you to stand, take the hand of your neighbor, and affirm the peace for these kids, for ourselves. There is peace, and it begins with us.
Yes, we're ready. All right. Here we go. Yes, I'm ready. Good Lord. I am ready. Oh, yes. I am ready to walk that heavenly road. Oh, yes. I am ready. Good Lord. I am ready. Oh, yes. I am ready to walk that heavenly road as you, Lord, Lord, Lord. Let's walk it. Lord, Lord, Lord. Lord, Lord, Lord. Are you ready for Easter? Lord, 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 yeah. I am ready. Ready for fun? I am ready. Ready for ham? I am ready. Ready for the ascension? I am ready. Got your ascension booty? I am ready. Ready for laughter? I am ready. How about the beach? I am ready.